We'll call the regular governing board meeting of the Lammersville Unified School District Board to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. At this time, please take a moment to silence or turn off your cell phones. For those of you that are here and would like to address the board about a specific agenda item and/or during public comment, please fill out a blue comment card so we know when to call upon you. Item 1, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Shum, if you or one of your students would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'd like to introduce Denise Pasco to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, ready, salute. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I believe that your high school students have a short presentation.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, board members. Dr. Nicholas, I'd like to introduce our students to come up and share a short presentation of some of the highlights they've done to welcome students back this year and establish some of the culture coming back from COVID. So we have Denise Pasco, Charlize Thorez, Gianna Indalacio, Ariana Casimiro. Come on up.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us. I'm Denise Pasco, the ASB president.
I'm Charlize Torres, the vice president.
I'm Ariana Casimiro, ASB secretary.
I'm Gianna Indalacio, ASB publicity commissioner.
And I'm Sunita, your fellow board trustee.
And today we're going to be talking about the post-COVID events that we have. All right, starting off, we have our Aloha Rally. This was the first rally we held this year after 2 years of being on lockdown.
After this, we held Homecoming. The theme was Nightmare Before Homecoming, in which all grades worked on a building for their floats, which we featured in Homecoming Parade.
We then had our homecoming dance, which our theme was A Dream in the Dark, planned by our senior class officers, and it was also our first ever outdoor dance.
Next up, we had our Avatar Rally, which was basically all the classes were able to become one of the signs in the Avatar Rally and express their colors.
And next up, we had our Mountain House of Horrors, which was actually the first time we tried doing an event like this. So we held a haunted house, and after we hosted a drive-in movie event where we screened Hotel Transylvania.
Next was Mustangcella, our multicultural event in which all the classes were able to put on a performance.
This week, we're holding a Teacher Appreciation Week, in which we honor our teachers by sending kindness messages.
And then on March 14th, we had our lunchtime activity, which was Pie Day, where students were able to pie some of their favorite teachers, where the teachers wore protective gear.
And we have our Kindness Week coming up, and as far as this week, students are able to pre-order flowers as a gift to give their students.
Our academics committee actually planned our Red Ribbon Week, during which students participated in spirit days and lunchtime activities, and we had our highest turnout of participation for our spirit day, Bring Anything But a Backpack Day.
And we had our winter formal. The theme was A Night in the Enchanted Forest, and this was our first ever catered event at the school.
We also had February Fest, and February Fest is a Valentine's Day themed event in which we did activities for students such as chalk drawing.
And we had our prom this year, planned by the junior class officers, along with the prom committee that took place at Crow Canyon, and the theme was Happily Ever After.
And we have our senior nights, where seniors are able to get appreciated for all the hard work that they've done during their sport, and it appreciates our athletes.
And lastly, we had our first Powder Puff in over 2 years, which is a football game against the junior girls and the senior girls.
And that's all that we have. So do you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns?
That's all. That seems like a lot. And a lot of really, really creative, looks like fun, exciting activities. So thanks for all you're doing for our high school student body.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much
you.
for coming. Great job. Item 2, roll call.
Lisa Boulay,
Here.
Colin Clements,
Here.
Benita Daniel,
Here.
Stephanie Olson,
Here.
David Pombo,
Here.
Sanita Jithendra.
Here.
Item 3, approval and/or corrections to the agenda.
There are none.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Olson and a second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item 4, committee reports. A, District Advisory Committee, trustee Boulay.
Yes, the district advisory committee met about an hour ago. On the agenda was an update about school construction, and Dr. Nicholas mentioned that Evelyn Costa will be breaking ground later on this month. And the anticipated opening date will be August of 2023, and we hope to, it should accommodate approximately 950 students. He also mentioned the growing student body at the high school and some of the spacing issues that we're going to be facing over the next couple of years. And so we'll be looking at some short and long-term solutions for those spacing issues. Mr. Harrison presented the local control accountability plan. He didn't present the whole plan. It's a very, very thick document, but talked about the purpose and the function, reviewed the state priorities as well as the goals for the district. And then finally, Mrs. Grialva talked about the budget for the 2022-2023 LCAP. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Item B, District English Language Advisory Committee, trustee Daniel.
None to report at the moment, but there is an update. So the next DLAC meeting will be in person.
That's awesome. Item C, Education Committee, trustee Pombo.
Nothing to report.
Item D, Facilities Committee, trustee Olson.
The next facility committee's meeting is next Thursday, May 12th at 6:30 p.m. here in the boardroom.
Thank you. Item E, Policy Committee, that's me. If the board will call, we can send it to suspend the Policy Committee through the end of the current school year, and we will definitely recommence in June. Item F, Safety Committee, trustee Pombo.
Trustee Olson will give a report.
The safety committee met this afternoon, and the sites all gave reports on their recent safety drills that were all successful and carried out efficiently, and they provided input on ways that they could make them even better. We discussed the recent Alice Run, Hide, Fight training that was held last Thursday here in the district office building, which is part of the district goal to come up with a better or more robust plan for the I don't know what the word is, like the undesired event of a mass shooting. And we discussed our goals for the 2020-23 school year, and it was our last safety committee meeting of the school year. That's all I have.
Thank you. Item G, Wellness Committee, trustee Boulay.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Item 5, Governing Board Reports. Student Board Member Jitendra.
In addition to all the events that the ASB committee presented for you today, we have MHH's Carnival this Friday from 3:30 to 6, and it's our very first event like this, so we're hoping that it ends up being successful. And that is all for my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee Olson.
On April 22nd, I attended the Bethany Wax Museum, and it's always one of my favorite things to see the Wax Museum, and the students were amazing. I don't know how they stood still so long. I probably would have passed out. And then I tried to attend the swim championships, but I had my times wrong, so I saw warm-ups, and that was great. But I understand they had a great meet. On April 23rd, I attended the high school drama production of Mamma Mia, and it was so amazing. I was so impressed with what our drama department did. I felt like I was, in Broadway, and I still have the songs in my head. On April 26th, I attended the TED Ed talks at Mountain Hills High School with several other of our board members, and this was put on by our GATE students, and the talks were amazing. They were very engaging, and it was so impressive to see the work that they've done in their GATE program. On April 28th, I attended the Alice Run, Hide, Fight training for the Safety Subcommittee, presented by the San Joaquin Sheriff's Deputies, and I also caught some of the WAC tennis championships at Mountain House High School. I saw the finals of the singles, where it was Mountain House versus Mountain House, and also I saw some of the doubles quarterfinal matches, which ended up being like a semifinal of Mountain House versus Mountain House and Mountain House versus someone else. So the team are the WAC champions, so I congratulate them. On April 30th, I was at Ohlone College, and I was able to watch the Bethany, Wickland, and Cuesta middle school bands and choirs perform for a forum where they were adjudicated and received ratings of either gold, silver, or bronze. Nobody got copper, so that was good. They all performed really well. And I'd like to say congratulations to everyone, and thanks to the music teachers for investing that extra time in them, giving them that experience. I think it's amazing. And today I attended the safety committee meeting, as already reported, and I would just like to wish all of our teachers, faculty, and staff a really happy Teacher Appreciation Week. I know the community is giving you a lot of love, and it's well-deserved, so thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Trustee Boulay?
On April 28th, I attended the opening night of Mamma Mia at the high school, and I have to echo what Trustee Olson said. Oh my goodness, it was fabulous. It was congratulations to the cast, the crew, the producers, and anyone else who really had a hand in that, because it was very, very good. On April 28th, I also attended the Western Athletic Conference Boys High School Singles and Doubles Tournament. I saw the singles finals, and I also caught the doubles finals. Again, it was Mountain House versus Mountain House. So congratulations to our boys tennis championships for those wins. On April 29th, I went to Wickland's annual Splashathon. It was a huge event. There was a number of very large blow-up slides. It was crowded, and everyone looked like they were just having a great time. I know they didn't have it last year because of the pandemic, so everyone just really enjoyed it. And then this past weekend, I judged the California High School Speech and Debate State Championships. I'd like to congratulate all of our students who competed. It was a lot of hard work for those students, and I want to congratulate Coach Leighton Scott. This is her first year coaching the team this year, and she's doing a great job. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Trustee Pombo?
Yes, on April 22nd, I also attended the Bethany Wax Museum, and the kids did a wonderful job. As Trustee Olson mentioned, I don't know how they stand still for that long. My kids could never stand still. I also tried to attend the swim meet, but I too got the wrong time. On April 24th, I attended the drama production of Mamma Mia at the high school, and I was very impressed. The singing, the choreography, everything was just really, really wonderful, and I'm happy to report to the rest of the board that the issues with the sound system at the theater have been addressed, and it really works well now. On the April 25th, I participated in the assistant superintendent interviews. Those I thought went well. On the 26th, I attended the TED Ed event at Mountain House High School Theater. Very impressive. And those kids are middle schoolers, and I don't think I could get up there and talk in front of the group like they did now, let alone when I was in middle school. I also attended on April 28th the Alice Run, Hide, Fight presentation given by the San Joaquin County Sheriffs. That is a daunting thing to have to contemplate. And earlier today, I attended the aforementioned safety and DAC meetings, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Daniel?
On April 22nd, I attended the Bethany Elementary School Wax Museum, as mentioned by Trustee Olson and Trustee Pombo. It was amazing to walk through. Apart from just standing still, the kids were actually posing, and that was amazing to see. This was my first time, so I actually walked through thrice and had a lot of fun. So each time they were posing differently. I want to mention that. That was so cool to watch. On April 22nd evening, I attended Lammersville Got Talent show that was put up by the Lammersville School Foundation at the Lammersville School, and it was really nice to see a lot of parents and students enjoy their Friday there watching the multicultural events. So great job to the LSF for putting that show together, and to Principal Duran for being there and selling popcorns and whatnot. So great job there. On April 22nd, on April 24th, and on April 30th, I got to attend the Mamma Mia show. So I just could not stop with just once because it was too good. And my daughter was part of the show. It was just amazing. A great job to the drama teacher, Mrs. Hornbecker, and to the vocal director, Ms. Gwen, and to all the 50-plus crew and cast members who were there. So it was too good, and there was a lot of appreciation from our community. So thank you to everyone who were there and supported their kids and cheered for their friends. That was just an amazing turnout and a wonderful event to be there. On April 26th, I attended the TED Ed talks by our GATE students along with other board members. I was in awe of all the students, as mentioned by our other trustees about their performance. So I actually reached out to Kristen, and I wanted to, ask her, so how long did they prepare for? How, because it was just so good, so well prepared. And the amount of information and the time that they had put in that Kristen shared was immense, and I think it'll be worth sharing to our community. So I'm going to place a request here to our superintendent and to our president that if we could have them come by once during our board meeting and share about their event, that'll be great. After the event, there was I did get a chance to talk to a lot of parents, and they were so happy with their children, with just watching their children on stage talking about things which they had no clue about, and just going through formulae and things like that. So that was an immensely well done showcase event. And I appreciate all the teachers, Kristen, and everyone who were there supporting the students. I would especially like to thank the students and Kristen to be there. They were there last board meeting, and they invited us personally. That's a very kind gesture. So thank you for that. So I would like to wish Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim friends out there. This is the Eid Ramadan celebration this week. So Eid Mubarak to everyone. I also would like to wish all the teachers, I would like to thank all the teachers. This is Teacher Appreciation Week for all their effort. There is a saying in our culture, we say, Mata, Pita, Guru, God, Devam. And so what it is mom, dad, teacher, then God. That is how we prioritize our respect. So teachers actually come before God. We really value our teachers, and we thank them because you do not just share knowledge, but you also mold the kid. You form their, you become part of their inspiration. So thank you for each and everything that you do, and teachers, thank you so much. Lastly, I would like to, on behalf of our board, I would like to share our heartfelt condolences to the family of Captain Vishant Sharma. He was our Mountain House High School graduate from 2017. So please accept our condolences. And that ends my report.
Thank you very much. As several of the other of my peers on the board have said, I would echo them in wishing the teachers a great Teacher Appreciation Week and thank them for all that they do for our children. On April 24th, I had the pleasure of attending Mountain House High School drama team's production of Mamma Mia. Like the rest of the board, I was completely blown away. I thought the students did an incredible job. I actually saw Mamma Mia at the community theater in Pleasanton, and I got to tell you, this was every bit as good as that. And I'm talking the acting, the singing, the set design and construction. Everything was fantastic. What a fantastic performance. Last Tuesday, I had the pleasure of attending the Mountain House High School TED Talks with a number of my peers. And it never ceases to amaze me how smart and professional our students are. I wish I could say I understood everything that they were discussing, but I can't say that. But I was very impressed. Earlier this evening, I also attended the District Advisory Committee meeting. And then finally, as the board will note, I did not participate in the interviews for principal positions or for the assistant superintendent position. I assure you this wasn't from a lack of desire or interest on my part. As many of you know, my wife Ginny stepped into the role of president of CSEA, and as such, she's going to be on a lot of those interview panels moving forward. While I am confident that both Ginny and I can be independently objective, I felt having both of us on an interview panel might not reflect the best appearance. So I conferred with Dr. Nicholas, and we agreed that while Ginny is the CSEA president, I will refrain from being on interview panels. So I wanted to thank my peers on the board for taking more than their fair share of the interviews. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Item 6, receiving of public comments. The entire board appreciates hearing from members of the community and the public at large. To facilitate this, the board shall give members of the public an opportunity to address the board either before or during the board's consideration of each agenda item, Code Section 54954.3. At a time so designated on the agenda, members of the public may also bring before the board matters that are not listed on the agenda of a regular meeting. The board may refer such a matter to the superintendent or designee or take it under advisement, but shall not take action at that time. The board may place the matter on the agenda of a subsequent meeting for discussion or action. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Speakers will note that there are green, yellow, and red lights on the lectern, and there is a digital clock indicating the remaining time for each speaker. When the yellow or middle light lights up, the speaker has 1 minute remaining, so the speaker should begin to wrap up their comments and be able to finish at the end of their 3 minutes when the red light comes on. In order to be courteous and fair to other members of the community that have spoken at this meeting or previous meetings and have limited their comments to 3 minutes allotted, and to others that want to speak in the future, I will unfortunately have to cut speakers off if they continue speaking after their 3 minutes are up. For members of the public that are wishing to speak on a specific agenda item, we strongly recommend that you wait until the agenda item is called so that you can hear the district staff's report on that item prior to making your comments. That being said, if a member of the public begins speaking on a topic that is on the agenda during the period for public comment, I will not interrupt them, but the time will count towards the 20 minutes allotted for that item. I have one blue comment card here from Mr. Sharma. By all means, sir.
Good evening, President and board members. How are you?
Good evening.
My name is Sanjay Sharma. I have been in Mountain House for a couple of years. My son goes to high school. So I'm here to discuss a couple of things based on the bell schedule which was announced last week by high school administration. We were expecting some changes because of the new SB 328 law, which came recently, that the high school shall not start before 8:30 a.m. And I totally understand, parents understand that, because kids can get more sleep, good for their mental and physical health. One thing which was very noticeable, and I thought I will bring it to district attention, I did bring it to principal and vice principal also, Mr. Brian also. And that was and that concern is regarding the brunch time. So in the next year bell schedule, there is no brunch planned for high school. You all know that brunch is very important for them, very beneficial for these students, as it helps in productivity, increase, focus, and most importantly, their physical and mental health. It's very important for them. And most of the schools across California, you would find that they are not eliminating the brunch next year in the new schedule. So I want to request the district to look into this and reinstate into the schedule, because 4 hours of classes from 8:30 to 12:36, it's a long stretch next year for them. And these are teens, they need breaks. They don't have that concentration, 4-hour long concentration span. We all know that. So, and it's very beneficial for them. Currently, we already have that brunch in our school, in the high school. So I would request the district and the board to modify the schedule and factor this into next year's schedule. So that's the main thing I want to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Sharma. As noted earlier, the Brown Act doesn't allow the board to respond to matters raised during public comment, other than possibly asking a clarifying question or two. For this reason, the board has a general consensus that the president speaks for the board as a whole. So on behalf of the entire board, I want to thank you for coming in and sharing your comments.
Thank you.
And if district staff could reach out to Mr. Sharma.
Yes, I'm aware there's an ongoing conversation with him as already, but we'll make sure that that continues.
Thank you. We recommend people fill out a blue comment card, but it's not required. Is there anybody here that did not fill out a blue comment card that would like to speak? Item 7, consent items for consideration. A, governing board meeting minutes for the regular meeting, April 20th, 2022. Item B, contracts under $50,000. Item C, ratification of the 2021-2022 new hires. D, ratification of resignations. E, updated 2021-2022 fundraisers. F, approval of early high school graduation or reduction of graduation requirements petitions for 3 students. Item G, ratification of school-sponsored overnight trips. H, ratification of placement on 39-month rehire list, 1 special education instructional aid. Item I, acceptance of donation, $70 from Ananya Andolu towards the Associated Student Body ASB General Fund for Cordis Elementary School. Would any board member like to pull a specific consent item out for separate discussion and/or deliberation, or are there any questions, comments, or concerns about the items?
Move to approve.
Mr. President, real quick, we did a budget on the, what is the organization that is the field trip organization? Is it HOSA? HOSA field trip. And because of escalating airline costs, that cost went up by about $8,000 or $10,000. So we want to amend that just for the transparency of the fact that it's going to cost more because the plane fare went up.
Move to approve consent items as amended.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Trustee Olson, as the board clerk, would you please do the honors?
Yes, on behalf of Lammersville Unified School District, we would like to welcome Beth Sorensen, registered nurse, to LUSD.
And I actually do have a comment. In spite of the price increase, HOSA has been a fantastic program for the students of our school. And, you know, giving back to them and supporting them, I think it's a great thing. Item 8, district administrative reports. A, superintendent's report. Dr. Nicholas?
Yes, just a couple of quick items. One, to piggyback on President Clemens's statement. It was a commitment made, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, that with the large number of students who are doing extraordinary things, or student organizations who are doing extraordinary things, the board made a commitment then, and it continues now, that student groups that are competitive groups that make it to the state or national competitions, that the district foots the bill. As we've grown and gotten better and better and better, that bill is growing. So there's a little bit of perspiration out there in the business department about that. So I want to say it with pride that we have so much good going on and that our generosity is good. But there may be a point in time in the future where we might have to cap that at some point, because we have lots of really talented kids. Second of all, I want to say congratulations to Mountain House High School. Every year, the state has a competition in which applicants are considered for acknowledgement. We've had multiple schools in the past be named California Distinguished Schools. They did not offer that award this year. Instead, they offered something called the Pivotal Practice Award. And there were categories from which to choose, similar to how our multiple-time winning Golden Bell Awards have come. And an application was put in the area of social emotional well-being of students. And the only school in San Joaquin County to be selected by the state for that acknowledgement, the Pivotal Practice Award, is our Mountain House High School. So congratulations to Mr. Faubert, Mr. Shum, and in particular the counseling team there, because it's related to the commitment made for the social emotional well-being of our students. So congratulations to all. Bless you. And we like to try things here in Lammersville Unified, and we tried something that turned out pretty dang good. So this was a brainchild of Assistant Superintendent Sherburne, and it was a TK kindergarten parent workshop, and it had two focal intended goals. One was to provide an incentive for early enrollment so we can have better numbers, so we can accurately pick our staffing ratios. And two, we wanted to provide a kit for the summer for the little youngsters so that they can be better prepared for school. So we have a couple of pictures here. 320 parents attended the event, and there were 100 individual parents that reached out and said, we can't make it, or they couldn't make it, but they wanted the materials. And next slide, please. And so these are just some photos that went along with it. And the one request that came out of the event was they want to do it every year. It was kind of like the old days of the music. It was going up to number 1 with a bullet. They wanted to extend it to multiple grade levels, and they wanted something for all kids at all grades up to a certain level in the intermediate grades. So, kind of like our generous way to get kids to state and national competitions. We have talented people. And then finally, we have a very extraordinary group of coordinators who very silently provide professional development, teacher support, training across the district. We have an individual who's been here for us for a long time, Jenna Cook. She was a great teacher, and she's been a great coordinator, and she was the lead on this, and she's done an exceptional job. We also want to thank Heather's assistant, Ruby, who, again, silently is moving things, working very hard, and making things happen. And so special events happen because special people put the effort in, and all of these individual families benefited from the hard work of a lot of people, but Jenna and Ruby in particular. So that is my report, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nicholas. Any questions or comments from the board? Item B, District Maintenance and Operations Report. Staff report.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. I have a brief report tonight. We're still having our weekly staffing challenges every week. We're 4 people short, and we have an employee on light duty, so every day we're about 4.5 people short when we show up for work every day. We're moving through the process of hiring some new people. The operations and our warehouse staff go out and try to fill in the gaps as much as possible, so kudos to them. And then some of our lead custodians, our day custodians, have been very helpful. They've been volunteering to stay over and to help out the night crew, so that's also been very helpful for us. And when the operations staff isn't out doing custodial work, They've basically been dealing with spring sports, which should be wrapping up hopefully in the next week to 2 weeks. And the maintenance guy has been basically focusing on work orders the last couple of weeks since the last board meeting. Updating our projects, solar. We still have our weekly meetings. We got one tomorrow. Altamont and Bethany, pretty much complete. We have a little bit of landscaping to replace. Some of the plants didn't survive in the beds, but we'll get to that. Probably not till summer at this point. Hanson and Wickwood needs some backfill and some paving done. The paving subcontractor is behind schedule, and so that's why that work hasn't been done yet. And they still need the temp fence and the parking lot cleanup and that kind of landscaping done as well there on both those sites. Lammersville and Costa, they're still working on the boring, and they're still working on the electrical connections. Mount House High School, they still have one section of boring, which is kind of right out in front of the admin, where the break was. They still have to finish that. They have to backfill and do some paving there. They have a lot of cleanup to do in the parking lot. There's stuff around there, and that should be in the next week to week and a half. And the fence will definitely be down by graduation, if anybody asks. I'm sure someone
Yes,
will
it
ask.
will.
I was just,
You
I
read
was just
my
getting ready
mind.
to ask.
Yeah, so
You might have some parents pulling
cut that
it
one
down.
off. The parking lot at Wickland was paved last Wednesday. We're gonna let it sit for 2 to 3 weeks before we stripe it, let the oil settle out and get that thing ready to go. I announced at the last board meeting the grant money we received, and since then, a couple questions have come up about what we can use the money for, what we can't use the money for, so on and so forth. With the CalShape money, which was almost $800,000, it's basically broken down into 4 categories what the money's for. The first, I'll just use Lammerville as an example, okay? Lammerville was $61,769 and some change. So $31,750, about half of that money is for assessment and maintenance. So they go and assess the units, make sure they're running properly, and do maintenance on them. $4,700 and change is for filters. $15,000 is to monitor beyond the initial assessment. And then there's a $10,294 contingency for that site for anything that pops up. Now, we may be able to use that for some control issues down the road, like at the high school we have control issues. Depends how it all kind of shakes out once they get in and do the assessment of the units. So that's what the money's for. With the electric vehicles, the way it works, it's a reimbursement program. It's $20,000 per vehicle. We get 5 vehicles. We, the district, have to pay. They want a 50% deposit up front, and then another 50% when the vehicles actually show up, and then we would submit the reimbursement for that money. The vehicles are a little over $20,000, so we may have to pay a few $1,000s per vehicle to get the 5 vehicles. So that's where we're at with that. Upcoming items are Zoom meeting last Friday. Thor and I were both busy. We had to reschedule that, so that didn't get, with our grounds company, that didn't get done. So we're gonna reschedule that one. I'll be at the facilities meeting next Thursday. And then a staffing update. So we have 4 candidates moving through the hiring process right now. I know at least 2 of them have been fingerprinted, and I heard rumors say that 2 of them, their contracts will be ready on Friday, so they could be potentially be on board as soon as maybe even next week. So that would be great. I'm also told that we're gonna get another 1 or 2 new subs. We only have about 1 sub that's gonna work every day, and some people that could work sporadic days here and there. So we might have a couple more subs by the end of the week as well, which will also help us. And that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Item 9, action items. A, consider approval of 2021-2022 inter-district transfer request. This traditionally does not have a staff report.
Move to approve the 2021-2022 interdistrict transfer request.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Boulay and a second by trustee Pombo, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item B, consider approval of 2022-2023 interdistrict transfer requests, and this also traditionally does not have a staff report.
Move to approve 2022-2023 inter-district transfer requests.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Olson and a second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item C, consider approval of 2021-2022 seniority lists for 1, Lammersville Teachers Association, and 2, California School Employees Association, CSEA Chapter 873. Staff report.
Yeah, this is simply a perfunctory act. It's a requirement that we do every year to make sure that in the highly unlikely event of a layoff or a need, we would have established the order of who was hired when.
Move to approve 2021, 2022 seniority lists.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and a second by trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item D, consider approval of 2022-2023 governing board meeting calendar. Staff report.
Yes, we do this time every year, lay out the dates, the board approves it, and then we execute a year's worth of meetings over the 365 days.
Trustee Clements, I think you'll be happy to see that they do not have one during fall break.
I'm very happy to see that.
You can thank Mrs. Balzerini to my left for that.
Move to approve 2022-2023 governing board meeting calendar.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Daniel and a second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and 0 nays. Item E, consider approval of Governing Board Resolution 21-2208 to establish specifications of the election order. Staff report?
Yes, this is a requirement every 2 years when there's an election. If we have board members that are up for election, that we give the specifications of who's up for election.
Move to approve Governing Board Resolution 21-22-08 to establish specifications of the election order.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Olson and a second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
We'll dispense with the viva voca vote and proceed directly to the roll call vote, please.
Lisa Boulay,
Aye.
Colin Clements,
Aye.
Vanita Daniel,
Aye.
Stephanie Olson,
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye.
The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item F, consider approval of Governing Board Resolution 21-2209 to establish temporary interfund transfers. Staff report?
Yes, we do this annually. It allows the business office to straddle fiscal years, which one fiscal year ends June 30, the other one starts in July 1. It allows them to move and transfer monies to pay our bills if necessary.
Move to approve Governing Board Resolution 21-22-09 to establish temporary interfund transfers.
Second.
Ooh, I'm going to give it to trustee Daniel. Based on a motion by trustee Boulay and a second by trustee Daniel, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
We'll dispense with the viva voce vote and proceed directly to roll call vote, please.
Lisa Boulay,
Aye.
Colin Clements,
Aye.
Vanita Daniel,
Aye.
Stephanie Olson,
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye.
The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item G, consider approval of the 2022-23 Lammersville Unified School District California Interscholastic Federation CIF representative, Mr. Ben Faubert, and alternate representatives, Mrs. Aileen White and Mr. Guadalupe Galindo. Staff report?
We recommend as written.
Move to approve the 2022-23 Lammersville Unified School District California Interscholastic Federation CIF representative, Mr. Ben Faubert, and alternative representatives, Mrs. Aileen White and Mr. Guadalupe Galindo.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Olson and a second by trustee Daniel, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item H, consider approval to close regular session to open public hearing for developer fee justification study. Staff report?
Yes, items H, I, J, K, and L are all part and parcel of the same series of events. At its core, it allows us to raise the developer fees on commercial and residential property with ebullient enthusiasm. We recommend approval of this process.
Move to approve to close regular session to open the public hearing for the developer fee justification study.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and a second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. We are now, Yes, we're now in a public hearing concerning developer fee justification study. Noel, if you could play the Jeopardy song, please. Given no public comment, I will now entertain a motion for item J, consider approval to close the public hearing and return to regular session.
Move to close the public hearing and return to regular session.
Second.
That was trustee Boulay, correct? Based on a motion by trustee Olson and second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item K, consider approval of developer fee justification study. Based on the same staff report, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve developer fee justification study.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Daniel and a second by trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item L, consider approval of Governing Board Resolution 21-2210, adopting and implementing an increase in Level 1 developer fees levied on residential development and levying fees on commercial and industrial development to fund the construction and reconstruction of school facilities. That's, again, part of the same.
Correct. This is the big one.
Move to approve of Governing Board Resolution 21-22-10, adopting and implementing an increase in Level 1 developer fees levied on residential development and levying fees on commercial and industrial development to fund the construction and reconstruction of school facilities.
Second.
Is that trustee Boulay? Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and a second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
Again, we'll dispense with the viva voce vote and proceed directly to roll call, please.
Lisa Boulay,
Aye.
Colin Clements,
Aye.
Benita Daniel,
Aye.
Stephanie Olson,
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye.
Motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item N, consider approval of Aries SIS renewal agreement for student information system and parent communication services for grades TK through 12 for the 2022-2023 school year, not to exceed $86,424.40. Staff report.
Yeah, this is a longstanding, very crucial program for our student information, so we recommend approval.
Move to approve of Aries SIS renewal agreement for student information system and parent communication services for grades TK through 12 for the 2022-2023 school year, not to exceed $86,424.40.
Second.
Sorry, I can now empathize with the sitting president, how hard it is if you're not looking to hear who did it. Anyway, based on a motion by trustee Olson and a second by trustee Daniel, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item N, consider approval of contract with A+ Inspection Services as the inspector of record for the Evelyn Costa Elementary School as required by the Division of State Architects, DSA, for $214,500. Staff report?
Yes, I'd like to make an amendment to the way this was communicated. At least in my 9 years here, we've used 2 different gentlemen who were the DSA inspector. Both have retired, so this is a new person. The way they constructed their service, they had a GMP, a guaranteed maximum price, and then there's a 10% contingency as a buffer. The way this read, it made it seem like there was a guaranteed maximum price for, I believe, $195,000, and it didn't make it. It was a non sequitur based on the contingency. What I would like to amend this to say is that it's a $214,500 not to exceed, which includes the GMP for the service and the buffer, which is 10%.
Move to approve the contract with A+ Inspection Services as the inspector of record for the Evelyn Costa Elementary School as required by the Division of State Architect, DSA, as amended for $214,500, which includes the 10% contingency.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Boulay and a second by trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item O, consider approval of the contract with Wallace Cool and Associates for compliance with California Building Code to have third-party testing and inspections for Evelyn Costa Elementary School for $297,972. Staff report?
Yeah, this is one of those another service that we have to have. We recommend Wallace Cool, who has worked on previous projects. We can't do can't build the school without it, so we strongly recommend approval.
Move to approve contract with Wallace Carl and Associates for compliance with California Building Code to have third-party testing and inspections for Evelyn Costa Elementary School for $297,972.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Daniel and a second by trustee Belay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item P, consider approval of Governing Board Resolution 21-2211 to accept the terms and conditions of the grant agreement for the California Schools Healthy Air, Plumbing, and Efficiency Program. Staff report?
Yes, item P and Q are the same, except for we have a different provider for electricity. The 1 through 6 is MID. On the Q, Lammersville is PG and E. This will help us mitigate HVAC-related air quality things, and we're very happy to have the opportunity to have this money.
Move to approve Governing Board Resolution 21-22-11 to accept the terms and conditions of the grant agreement for the California Schools Healthy Air, Plumbing, and Efficiency Program.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Olson and a second by trustee Daniel, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
Again, we'll dispense with a viva voce vote and proceed to roll call, please.
Didn't require roll call, but we could take it anyway.
I thought all board resolutions had to have them.
Let's just do it.
Let's just be safe.
Lisa Boulay,
Aye.
Colin Clements,
Aye.
Benita Daniel,
Aye.
Stephanie Olson,
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye.
The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays, and I beg the apology of my peers on the board. The president cannot call for a roll call vote without consensus of the board unless such a vote is required. So can I have consensus to do a roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks. Sorry about that. That's Robert's Rules of Order, item 43, section something. Anyway, item Q, consider approval of Governing Board Resolution 21-2212 to accept the terms and conditions of the grant agreement for the California Schools Healthy Air, Plumbing, and Efficiency Program for Lammersville Elementary School under the same staff report as item P.
Move to approve Governing Board Resolution 21-22-12 to accept the terms and conditions of the grant agreement for the California Public Schools Healthy Air, Plumbing, and Efficiency Program.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and a second by trustee Belay, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
And does this one require, this one doesn't either. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. Item 10, information and discussion items. A, DARE support, Dr. Nicholas?
Yeah, very, very quickly. I can't recall how many years ago it was. It's because in the COVID years, things are blurry, but the previous board had asked that we provide a donation / financial support to the program. And it was $5,000. And so we would like board consensus / direction to continue that donation support and continue to support the program in perpetuity, and only bring it back to the board if there's an increase in the $5,000. But so in the short term, we want go spend the $5,000, and we'd like to just, if it's just $5,000, we'll just keep it rolling until they come back and say we'd like some more.
I fully support the district supporting the DARE program. I think it's a good program. I think it's well run, and I think it's a good opportunity for us to give back to the program that's given a lot to our district.
Agreed.
I agree.
It is an awesome program, and I understand that the DARE program is provided to 5th grade students.
Correct.
From all our schools. So I was just thinking, I mean, this may be a request or something to think about. If, because the 5th grade students and parents really enjoyed the DARE program, if we could also provide that to our 8th graders just before entering the freshman year, that would greatly benefit them, but it's just something that to think about.
Thank you.
Because it's an awesome program, so I fully support it.
So as it relates to the program in question, you have unanimous support of the board.
Thank you.
And then there's a suggestion.
Yep.
Item B, San Joaquin County Office of Education 2022 Classified Employee and Teacher of the Year Award Celebration Dinner. Staff report?
Yes, we have a teacher, Tammy Hurst, who is a finalist for County Teacher of the Year. And we have, well, I shouldn't say always. I want to say at least 3 years that I can recall, we have had a teacher finalist here. We're here to communicate that that dinner is there and would like to hear who would like to go. On a personal privilege, I will not be able to attend because I will be attending my son's college graduation, UC San Diego, class of 2022. So I'll be there.
Oh,
to
yeah,
spare it.
about that? No.
What is the date again? Is that June 9th?
June 9th.
And they need to know by what date for RSVPs? I'm sorry.
Says May 19th.
I saw that somewhere. Oh, I should look over there. Okay.
I do plan on attending. I'm
too.
excited to attend.
I will be able to attend too.
And I'm going to have to look at my calendar. Sorry.
I will attend, and I would like the steak.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we
wait.
have this choices
I want
yet.
to amend it and say I will attend and I want the surf and turf. Like,
And Colin.
me.
And I'm a hopeful, but I'll have to let you know.
Item 11, calendar. On Thursday, May 12th, 2022 will be the Facilities Committee meeting at 6:30 here in the District Office Boardroom. Also Thursday, May 12th, 2022 is the Hanson Dare graduation at 6:30 at Hanson Elementary School. Wednesday, May 18th, 2022 is the next regular governing board meeting at 7 p.m. here in the district boardroom. In a few minutes, we will be adjourning to closed session where we will be discussing A, Public Employee Discipline Dismissal Release Complaint, Government Code Section 54957. B, consider approval of paid, unpaid leave of absence for one classified employee. C, student discipline and other confidential matters, Education Code Sections 35146, 48900, and 48912B for one student. Item D, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9, case numbers as stipulated. Item E, conference with legal counsel, anticipated legal litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9. Item F, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code Section 54956.8. And item G, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Move to adjourn to closed session.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and a second by trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no nays. We are now adjourned to closed session. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reconvening from closed session to open session at 10 p.m. On closed session item B, consider approval of leave of absence for classified employee number 124249 from 4/22/2022 to 6/3/2022. The board took action on a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Olson to approve unpaid long-term leave of absence for classified employee number 124249 from 4/22/2022 through 6/3/2022 by the following vote: 5 ayes, no noes, no absence, and no abstentions. On closed item closed session item C1, student discipline and other confidential matters, Education Code Sections 35146, 48900, and 48912B, Pupil Personnel Education Code 48918, Item 1, Student Expulsion Number 21-22-06. The board took action on a motion by Trustee Boulay and seconded by Trustee Olson to approve staff recommendation for a stipulated expulsion agreement of student number 21-22-06 for violation of board policy and administrative regulations 5131.7 and Education Code 48900B for the remainder of the spring 2021-2022 trimester by the following vote: 5 ayes, no noes, no abstentions, no absence, and no abstentions. I will now entertain a motion to
Move to adjourn?
Second.
based on a motion by Trustee Pombo and seconded by Trustee Boulay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are now adjourned. Thank you.